The abandoned school. In a small village lost among forests, there stood an old school. Long ago, children's laughter echoed there. The bell rang for lessons, and students ran through the hallways. But for more than 20 years, the school had been abandoned. The locals simply called it the Gray School. The windows were broken, the doors were crooked, and cracks covered the walls. At night, strange lights were sometimes seen inside. People said someone walks there, even though no one had been inside for years. In the village, there was a group of teenagers, Marco, Olia, Dennis, and Katya. They often heard stories about the school. There are ghosts there, the older people said. Nonsense, Dennis laughed. It's just an old building. One evening, they decided to check it themselves. It was already dark when they approached the school. The wind whistled through the broken windows, and an old swing in the yard creaked by itself. Maybe we should go back, Oya said quietly. Too late, Marco replied and pushed the door. The door opened with a long creak. Inside, it was cold and dark. Their flashlights lit the dust in the air. Old notebooks, broken chairs, and pieces of plaster lay on the floor. They slowly walked down the corridor. Suddenly, knock, knock. It sounded like someone was tapping on the wall. Did you hear that? Katya whispered. It's probably pipes, Dennis said uncertainly. They entered one of the classrooms. On the chalkboard there was still an old message written in chalk. Don't stay after the bell. Very funny, Marco said. Someone made a joke. Suddenly a sound came from the hallway. Raise ears. Like a school bell. Everyone froze. There's no electricity here, Oya whispered. Then they heard footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Step, step, step. The footsteps were moving down the corridor. Someone came, Dennis said. But when they looked into the hallway, no one was there. Only darkness. And the sound of children laughing. Quiet. Distant. Katya grabbed Marco's H. And I want to go home. Suddenly the classroom door slammed shut. Marco's flashlight started flickering. Something on the chalkboard had changed. Now it said something else. The lesson has started. The bell rang again in the hallway. Then they heard many footsteps, like dozens of children running through the corridor. But the school had been empty for 20 years. The door handle slowly began to turn by itself. Marco quickly opened the door, and they all ran toward the exit. The footsteps chased them through the hallway. The laughter echoed behind them. When they ran outside, everything suddenly became silent. The school stood quiet and dead again. Did you see that too? Dennis asked, breathing heavily. No one answered, because in the window on the second floor, a dark figure of a child was standing there, slowly waving at them. And the next morning, a new message appeared on the school door. Thank you for coming to the lesson.